I'm trying to be positive by smiling, but well, what's up guys, James here from Reflect the Screen, and I'm back at it with another review, this time of the best film of the year. Psych. Actually, it's one of the worst films of the year. Venom, starring Tom Hardy and Michelle Williams, directed by the same guy who did Zombieland. So how did this film come about? Let's just hop to the story. Tom Hardy is an MMJ journalist, which is a multimedia journalist, and he goes around, he's an investigator of sorts, and he is basically just unveiling so many dirty secrets of society, and he's living the life. You know, the film starts off with, you know, he's in the thick of things with his, well, fiance. They're about to get married, and look, things are great for Eddie Brock until one day he gets assigned to interview Carlton Drake, who's played by Riz Ahmed, and Eddie Brock's gonna Eddie Brock, right? So he's told not to do one thing and he does it anyway, so he ruins his career because he brings up the dirty past of Carlton Drake. Thing is, he stole a lot of this information from his fiance's legal papers because his fiance is a lawyer. Whatever, fine, that sets it up. It actually sounds better when I say it, but then the product on screen is terrible. Let me get back on track. So eventually Eddie Brock is hitting a very low point in his life until one day this symbiote organism, alien life form thing that Carlton Drake is researching, well, it escapes and it gets onto Tom Hardy, and Tom Hardy becomes Venom. Let me tell you, I knew this movie was really hitting rock bottom when they revealed Venom through a car window. The reflection of Eddie Brock, of Tom Hardy, in a car window revealed Venom. Let's just begin with the incredibly sloppy intro sequence. Nothing seemed to flow. An event happened just to happen. It was total filler, and then the title card flashed on screen, and I thought I was really stuck in an alternate universe because horrible, just absolutely terrible. And then for some reason director Ruben Fleischer, like who I said did Zombieland, didn't know how to write comedy because every joke was so generic. It was so bad that I couldn't comprehend why the audience was laughing, whether they were laughing at the joke or they were laughing at how terrible the film is. Part of me wants to believe that they were actually laughing because they thought it was funny, and it's shameful. Shameful. Now, the big deal going into this film was seeing how Venom would exist in this Sony Spider-Verse without Spider-Man. Now, that's virtually impossible, right? Especially when you look back at the comics. So what they do is, instead of a comet crashing to Earth like in the original comics, a spaceship burns up in the atmosphere upon re-entry into, well, Earth's atmosphere, and then crashes. The symbiote organism escapes into another person, and then it escapes into an old lady, and then it escapes into a child, and that's how it gets closer and closer and closer to eventually Carlton Drake and his band of misfits. So it's one of the most schlocky messes I've seen this year. So the dialogue is another thing that really took me out of the experience completely. I didn't expect anything crazy from this movie, but I at least expected some competency, some coherent feel to the movie. Like, are we transitioning from act to act properly? And we weren't. Eventually he becomes Venom, and then you hear Venom speaking to Eddie Brock, and all of a sudden it becomes a buddy cop comedy. I just don't understand the progression of things in this film because none of it makes sense. It's the total abomination of the character. Quite frankly, and I said this to myself as I was watching it, this is a mockery of the character. You know, to scale back from the fictitious characters a bit, I'm gonna talk about Tom Hardy and Michelle Williams. Please, why did they accept these roles? At what point did they see the script and think, this is gonna be great? Michelle Williams, you're so much better than this, honestly. And Tom Hardy, I'm starting to question, like, what are you doing here, right? With your career right now. I mean, you're a good actor, man. Just don't relegate yourself to this junk. Boy, your acting wasn't any better either, was it? Michelle Williams totally just, she's like, where's the check at? All right, well, I'm good. Is it guaranteed? It's guaranteed? I'm real good now. I'm just gonna sit back and not even care. Their chemistry on screen was virtually non-existent. It made me think that both of these actors didn't spend one moment off screen together, just even talking about the film. There was one redeeming factor. Just one. Okay, 1.5. Here's the half. Tom Hardy's accent actually wasn't as bad as it is in the trailers. The other positive goes to Jenny Slate, who plays Dr. Skirth. I mean, it's kind of competent. And of course, if anyone's seen the trailers, there's a big CGI fight between both Venoms, and the CGI is incredibly noticeable. There's green screen moments where I just really I tune out completely. I'm like, this is crap. You can tell there was a budget, and then you can tell all of it went into paying Tom Hardy for this movie. This is Suicide Squad level bad. There's nothing redeeming. The humor is terrible. The action is forgettable. Tom Hardy is just coasting alongside Michelle Williams. And then Ruben Fleischer clearly doesn't care about studio interference, because it looks like his brand wasn't even on this. His hands weren't even in this. Watch Zombieland and then watch this film. Actually, no. Watch Zombieland, don't watch this film. Much better alternative. Well guys, if you enjoyed listening to me being so disappointed by Venom, go ahead and like this review. And leave a comment below when you see the film. Subscribe. My goodness, there's so much content coming out. Also, don't forget to check us out on social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're there. So guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the next screening.